Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about The Menu. Directed by Mylod and starring people like Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, John Leguizamo, Janet McTeer, and many others. The Menu takes place in a very expensive restaurant where things go wrong with each and every course. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm not gonna lie, this is like the 5th time I'm trying to film this video, and unfortunately I had to unplug my mic between one of the takes, and the mic is no longer functioning with my camera. So if you can tell, I'm really frustrated right now. So I still wanted to do this video. I still wanted to film the video and get my thoughts out on this movie, but I do apologize for the echo I'm sure you're hearing watching this video. I'm sure the audio for this video is not good compared to my other videos, so I do apologize for that. I hate putting out content that is not up to par with at least the stuff that I'm recently putting out, but this is just my luck. So without further ado, let's get into my thoughts on The Menu. Yeah, this was an interesting one. Seeing the trailers leading up to it, I was definitely curious to see where this movie would go, and I definitely wanted to see what this movie would be with such a star-studded cast. And I'm happy to say I really enjoyed this film. Found it to be a really interesting film that had a really layered story, but something that I think people can just go into and enjoy as a thriller in and of itself. And overall, just an enjoyable time at the movies. It had some laughs and had some big oh shit moments. The base premise of this film is that you have a group of people, a small group of people, 12 people to be exact, who are going to a restaurant called the Hawthorne that's really well known for being a very pricey restaurant experience, where you go to see this chef named Chef Slowick, played by Ralph Fiennes. And our main cast here, or at least the two that we're focusing on at the very beginning, are played by Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy. Find out that Nicholas Hoult's character is this guy who's absolutely in love with Ralph Fiennes' character. He's in love with the culinary arts, and he likes to think of himself as a foodie or somebody who's like a food critic. And so we have him and his date, Anya Taylor-Joy, who's more of just a casual kind of food person. You know, she's just going to have a good time. She would never pay this price for a restaurant like this, does not care about the kind of food that's being presented here, which, like a lot of other really expensive restaurants, is something that's filled with small portions and very fancy artsy food, rather than something that's going to fill you up by the time you leave. And so yeah, you know, this was an interesting movie to see, because what I liked about it is that as we get to the restaurant that they have to take a boat in order to get to, you have all these individuals who are here for this restaurant experience that all have different approaches to what they're there for. You have somebody who's actually a food critic, who's there to critique the food at the highest level and try to see the artistry and everything, which is kind of what you're seeing with the character played by Nicholas Hoult, except he's not a food critic, and so he's kind of somebody who's just a foodie and a big fan who takes it to the next level. At the same time, you have the celebrity who's in the mix, who's played by John Leguizamo, who's there because of the connections he has, and he kind of wants to see if people recognize him. He's there for a little bit more of the clout of somebody who can afford an event like this. You have a couple of individuals who are like that all have different approaches to what they want to get out of this, who are just all people who can afford this and are all expecting something different from the chef and this experience. As the movie progresses with each course, things start to get mysterious, over the top, and weird as people's lives start to be in danger. I don't want to get into any spoilers because the movie did just come out, and I think that part of the fun of this film is the mystery of it all and seeing it all unravel, as you don't really know where this is going to go. If you've seen the trailers, you know that obviously things are not right with this whole situation, and over the course of the trailer you can tell that they're in danger when it comes to this restaurant experience. But what's really awesome about this movie is seeing how that all unfolds over the course of the film. I think the absolute standouts, without a doubt, are Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy. The two of them give phenomenal performances, and they have great chemistry in this movie, playing off of one another very, very well. I don't want to get in too deep into the story and the characters because I really don't want to spoil anything, but I found that those two for me were the strongest ones of the entire film. Beyond that, you have beautiful cinematography. The film is really well edited, and the score is really solid as well. You also have just really great performances from beginning to end, which I think takes this really over the top high concept film that's kind of, you know, very streamlined and put into a very secluded location, and has a lot of fun with it. And the writing is, I think, really strong as well. A lot of the dialogue I found myself really gripped to, and by the time the movie was over, I had a smile on my face from the funny moments, from the oh shit moments, and just being gripped by a story that I thought was really well paced and kept me engaged from beginning to end. There are a couple of moments in the film that I did find to be a little bit slow from time to time, but I do think that those moments are utilized to develop the characters and, you know, kind of bring the pacing down for just a moment to kind of expand upon what we're seeing and what we can expect moving forward, which for me worked because I felt the slow moments in this film, though they are slow at times, I did find them to be well paced enough to kind of get back into what's going on not shortly after, and utilizing that slow time to really expand upon the characters in the story, I think was really the best thing they could have done. And at its core, this is a really interesting film that really is about the idea of artistry and how there are so many people who consume art who may think they're, you know, more knowledgeable on a subject than they actually are, that they might be hypercritical about art but can't do the same thing themselves even if they think they can. There are people who expect certain things from artists because of their specific stature in life or their specific status in life. There are others in life who are able to buy things from artists or able to kind of reap the benefits of being around artists, but don't always appreciate the work that the artists put into what they do. And then there are those at the core of it that just kind of casually look at what an artist does and isn't going to come into it with this heightened mentality that maybe they want you to have or that those around you tell you you should have. And so I think at its core, this is a movie about art, and not only the artists but those who consume the art in the various ways, how it can be a cyclical, just dark path that kind of corrupts the art itself depending on what kind of criticism and discussion is coming out of it. I also thought it was interesting that they broke down the idea of what art is, and sometimes not really wanting to be fed something that's overly artsy and really just wanting to be fed something that is just good, you know, something that's just good, enjoyable, and isn't really about, you know, kind of having to dissect things or trying to look at things from this different perspective, but rather just looking at a good piece of art, whatever it is, whether it's music, movies, food, TV, art itself, paintings, whatever the case may be, looking at all of those things and just being able to enjoy them for what they are rather than having to be hypercritical of everything. And I thought that was definitely an interesting element of this film. Yeah, overall, I thought The Menu was a solid film with phenomenal performances from beginning to end. Outside of a couple things here or there that I maybe thought could have been cut out, or a couple of story elements that maybe felt a little bit underdeveloped, I overall found this film to be a really enjoyable time at the movies. I think if you go and see it with a packed theater like I did, there are a lot of moments that really work with the audience in terms of some of the comedic beats throughout the course of the film, as well as the big shocking moments where you don't really see what's coming next that happen that kind of give the whole audience this oh shit moment. I definitely want to say a big thanks to you guys for watching this video. Sorry if I seemed a little bit rambly here. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm a little frustrated because of my whole technology part of this situation in terms of the technological issues, and I just kind of want to get this video over and done with. So a big thanks to you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.